coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.
We're gonna take a few questions from the audience bank. If anybody got any questions, anybody, we can prepare it now. So I'll give you a few more. I got you. We're gonna take a few moments to let you prepare your questions, but you said something key. You said a lot of key things. So I want y'all to wake up every single day with purpose. This is a good way and an easy way to stay out of trouble and make good decisions, because you wake up every single day with a purpose. And you take that purpose, right, and those ideas, and I want you to write them down. Anybody you see great, I don't care if it's Beyonce or Jay-Z or LeBron James, the reason why they are who they are and where they are, because they woke up every single day with a goal and a purpose, right? And a good way to write that letter is you write those ideas down and put a date on them. And I guarantee you, when you write it down, you're going to remember that. It's going to keep you out of trouble, because I got purpose. I got things to do in this world, and I can't go this way because this way is trouble. So we're going to take some questions now, right here. We can start with you first.
You don't really talk about like your experiences. Like,
I can't hear you.
I say you didn't really talk about like your experiences like after you got out of jail.
Well, my experiences since I've been out, you know, I started YouTube. I do YouTube. I got a YouTube channel called BANKPOUND. It's been two years and some change now. I got over 14 million views and 77,000 plus subscribers. I got over 26 million views worldwide. I've been on Vlad TV. I've been on No Jumper. I've done interviews with, you know, NFL players. I've just did an interview with Pusha T. A lot of things have happened since I, you know, got out within the last couple of years, but you know, I focus on moving forward and just keep doing things and keep elevating this. But, you know, it's the things that I did in the past that I feel it will help people, you know, right now. That's why I tell my story. I'm moving forward in life, but I got to tell what happened so it can help somebody else so they won't make those mistakes.
Hello. Here. All right. I want to ask you, I seen like one of your little YouTube videos. You was like, when you got locked up, but because that told on you or something, you seen him when you was in jail, like, How that work? Like, if you get locked up with somebody, I thought they separate
you. That's a good question. You know, see, when I got locked up, obviously, you know, I was still young. Obviously, I was still thinking like the streets. When I did see the dude that got locked up with me and he did tell on me, yeah, I wanted to hurt him. You know, I wanted to hurt him, but you know, I listened to my mom. I heard the pain in her voice. I heard her tell me, you know, baby, you're going to come home one day. Don't blow it. Don't mess it up, you know. And then I had to come to the point where I had to accept my own responsibility. I was with him. He ain't make me go with him. So just because he fold, how do I get mad? That's what I'm telling y'all. I put myself in that position. See, it's a big thing out here now when they say snitching. Yeah, he told on me, but I gave him a reason to tell on me. Can't nobody tell on you if you ain't doing nothing wrong. Can't nobody tell on you if you ain't with nobody doing wrong. So I put myself in that position, so I had to own it. You know, I had to own that, right? But yeah, I let it go, man. I let it go. I choose to live.
You said that when you was in there, you struggled with suicidal thoughts. What motivated you to not do that, or just to serve your time and get out?
Hey, that's a great question. To be honest with you, it's a complex, great question, because it wasn't something that I could just straight say to myself like, oh, no, suicide ain't it, you know, because I was depressed. You know, I was depressed, oppressed, suppressed. I'm without, like I say, everything that you love. And you waking up in this violent environment every day and you just feeling so drained. And then you looking ahead saying, I got to do this forever? I got to live like this forever? And you don't want to fight. You don't want to do it. So I had to reinforce that in me several times. I had to fight down that feeling to just tell myself, this is temporary. This feeling is temporary. the world coming down on me today, but tomorrow be a better day. I'll feel better tomorrow. But if we act in that moment of weakness, that's permanent. Never, ever make a permanent decision for a temporary problem. If you feeling bad today, you could be feeling bad all week. Who's to say next week you might not have the best week of your life? You see what I'm saying? So I had to keep telling myself, don't make a permanent decision. Death is permanent. Suicide is permanent. Don't make a permanent decision for a temporary problem. And I had to keep telling myself that, and I understand that now more. So everybody goes through stuff. Everybody. I promise you, it get greater later. It get greater later.
Well, they were wondering. Well, we were wondering what were the meals like in prison, and which one was your favorite?
And you said which one was my favorite? Well, let me assure you this. All of y'all, I want you to understand this. And it ain't hard to find out. Prison has the lowest grade of food that they can serve to a human. That's all they need to qualify for to be able to serve to. The food was horrible. Horrible. And none of it was my favorite. None of it. I did everything I could to avoid eating it. Yeah, it's horrible food. Horrible.
Can you, like, not trying to intrude, but you talk more on to why you got, like, the day you got arrested? Like, you talk more about it?
Yeah, the day I got arrested or what I got arrested for. The day I got arrested was probably one of the worst days of my life, man. You know, I actually went down to the police station. Yeah, I actually went down to the police station because I had already been told on and they was already looking for me. So they had already invaded my mother's house, invaded my sister's house. They're invading other people's lives. They're messing up other people's lives for my action. So I went down there because I was the one that they was looking for. They was tearing up my mother's house, tearing up my sister's house. So I went down there to see what was going on, and that was the last day that I was on the street for 33 years later. No bond, no get out, no nothing. From the day I went down there, I didn't see the streets again for 33 years.
Did they ever try to, like, stab you and stuff in there?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. She said, did anyone ever try to stab me before in there? I actually got stabbed twice. Thank God, not too bad, but that's a part of life in prison. You know what I'm saying? And I know that sounds crazy, but it's actually a part of life in prison. It's just like we all out there, y'all sitting out there and they're all, quiet and calm, whatever. That's how prison is. It's a day room. You might be sitting all in the day room, and then just like some of y'all just want to whisper and be talking, you be sitting in there listening, and boom, somebody done jumped up and started stabbing. It happens like that in prison. People will stab you for bumping into them. People will stab you for interrupting them. People will stab you for anything in prison. Everybody's in prison is, they depressed. They done lost all of their life. So everybody more or less is angry. So it's a lot of violence in there, a lot.
What's the biggest lesson you learned in there?
The biggest lesson I learned in there, honestly, man, was to listen. That's the honest to God truth, was to listen, man. Once I started listening to dudes I listened to some dudes in there who had been in there at the time that I was in there, they had been in there the amount of time that I'd done. I used to listen to them because I knew they had already been through the things that I was going through. And had I not took some of their advice, and some people gave me bad advice, but the ones that I took, the good advice, they was monumental to me, man. It was really monumental to me because had I did things my way opposed to the way they told me it should be done, I might not be here. So, and I applied myself. You say Biggest thing, I applied myself. I started reading. I read a lot of philosophy. I read a lot of books. I read a lot of autobiographies. So you got to apply yourself, man. And you know, that's the biggest thing I learned, to be able to listen and to accept it.
What was your routine in prison?
What was my what?
Routine.
Oh man, that's gonna change. You know, that's gonna change. You know, you talking about 33 years, you talking about 12,345 consecutive days. I had a lot of routines. I used to work out a lot. I used to box, you know, but I boxed before I went into prison, but they ended up taking boxing out of the system like in the early 2000s, so that was gone. So I had to replace that. I used to work out a lot. Then I started reading philosophy. You go back to working out. Then, you know, I get to writing. I used to write down. I used to write poetry. I created my own program in there, which was called Rehab, which was an acronym which stood for Reevaluating Habits and Behavior, which all of us need to do. Reevaluate habits and behavior. So you ain't gonna be able to sustain doing one thing all the time. You know what I'm saying? You have to change it up. You have to keep your mind fresh. A lot of people in prison lose their mind just like that. Just go crazy. I've met people that you talk to that was big time drug dealers on the street or bosses on the street, and the time got them. I run into them 5 years later, they can't even talk. Literally can't even talk. They're doing sign language. That's the pressure that you under every day of your life when you know, being confined and doing what other people tell you to do when they tell you to do it. You got freedom out here right now. You got freedom of choices. That's the main thing you lose when you go to prison. Choices and options. They are no longer yours anymore. None. You're going to do what they tell you to do, man. They will beat it into you or beat you to death. That's fact. Not TV, real life. Real life.
All right. Once you got out of prison, was you like homeless, or was it hard to find a job?
Say that part again.
Once you got out of prison, was you homeless, or was it hard to find a job?
Nah, I wasn't homeless, man. I was fortunate, blessed enough to have my family, you know, still with me. My mom is still alive, thank God. And my sisters, all of these people was monumental in, you know, my mental health and me surviving prison, because I always felt like no matter what happened, I got to get home to my family. I got to get home to my kids. I had 2 kids. Now I got grandkids, you know? Yeah, I had 2 kids before I went in. I had my first child when I was 16 years old. 16 years old. And right before I went in, my son's mother was pregnant with him. So I got a 39-year-old daughter and a 35-year-old son that is videographer in LA. He probably shot a lot of y'all favorite rappers' video. But I wasn't there for them because I was locked up. So, you know, now I feel fortunate to come out and been out 3 years. And to this day, my son and my daughter, them 2 are my best friends. And my grandkids love me to death. I'm a super granddad. You know what I'm saying? Everything that I couldn't do for them, I do for my grandkids. I can't even come up to the front door without them looking out the window and just going crazy. Granddaddy here, granddaddy here. That's how much they love me. That warms my heart every time. It never gets old. Go look at my Instagram. You see them on there loving up on granddad.
Bank, real quick. Know you were the barber in jail. You were cutting hair in the prison. Tell the people how much you got paid to cut.
Oh man, I was a barber in jail for 30 years. I cut hair in prison for 30 years, and that's top pay in prison. Top pay in prison. This is the most money you could get. It's called, you know, a qualified job. You had to go to school and get a barber's license. Top pay in there. I made 45 cents an hour. Yeah, that's top pay now. You can frown up, you go in there, you get a regular job, you're gonna get 27 cents an hour. Yeah, that's what they doing in prison. That's real life, not the TV stuff. When you see them, they act like they balling in prison. It ain't no such thing as balling in prison. It ain't no such thing. If you got $1 million in prison, you still ain't balling because you can't even spend it. You can only spend a certain amount of money per month. You can only buy certain things. So it ain't no such thing as balling in prison. So when you see these little fake TikTok videos and all this, and they act like they wilding out, I promise you it's only for the camera. It's only for that however long the TikTok lasts. It ain't like that.
I'll take one more question. Anybody got a question? One more?
Did you make any like friendships out of jail, like to this day? You have any friendships with any of them?
You said, did I make any since I've been out or?
Like with people you've been in jail?
Oh, people that I met in jail?
Yeah.
Yeah, a whole lot of them. Whole lot of them. If anything came out of, during the time, I did meet some great dudes, man. When you locked up, you meet people from all over, I was locked up in Virginia, so people from all over Virginia, all different parts. So I met a lot of good dudes that I became lifelong friends with now out here in the real world. Dudes who out here now trying to do the same thing, trying to give back, trying to, do things for the youth, man, because, they always talk about a hater, right? They say a hater is somebody who just hate on you. See, I feel like a hater is somebody who go through something and then they sit back and want to watch and see if you can go through it. That's a hater to me. You understand? If I go down this road and I find out it's a dead-end road and I turn around and I'm coming back and I see cars coming this way, I feel it's my obligation to stop them and say, ain't nothing down there. Don't go down there. That's what I'm doing now. I'm telling you what gang life, drugs, I'm telling you, ain't nothing down there. I'm telling you, I can assure you, it all ends in a dead end. So a hater is somebody that would go through something and then watch you go through it just because they did. I'm trying to tell you, man, do what you got to do right now. Your life will turn out any way you choose it to turn out. I promise you that. If you laser focus in, is nobody that you know that you look up to that ain't do what I'm telling you. LeBron James ain't wake up and become LeBron James. He was laser focused on what he wanted and he got it. And you can do the same thing. Exact same thing.
Do you feel as though race played a role in your sentencing?
Probably so. But what can I do about that? I can't do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? That's something that you got to learn in life. Something that you can't do nothing about. It's done. I can't undo it. But it's something that you educate people on. Race may play a part in a whole lot of things in life as you move forward until times change, but you cannot let any of that stop you. You got to still do what you want to do. Become who you want to become. Chase your dreams. Don't let nothing stop you and nobody.
Yeah. What would you say to the young people who are taking their first step into the criminal path?
They're taking their first step in the criminal path. I would say to anybody who started out, and I don't want to offend nobody, but I definitely got to be honest. I would say to anybody that's starting out in a criminal lifestyle in 2023, you have got to be insane. You have got to be clinically insane. I'm telling you, first and foremost, the success rate, you can see it all throughout your life. There's no success rate in it. Second of all, we live in a social media world. Everything is recorded. Everybody has a phone. Everybody sees everything. The chances of you getting away with anything or getting away with something consistently, it's asinine, man. It's asinine. And if you take the same energy, if you take the same motivation that you put into trying to come up with a criminal scheme to get money, to get over, to get rich, to get fly, to get lit, if you use that same energy into something positive, guess what'll happen? Bingo, you successful. That's what'll happen. You just gotta focus your energy in the right places. That's it. It ain't nothing wrong, like Jay-Z said, ain't nothing wrong with your aim, you just gotta change the target. It's all, man. Just put your energy into something that's real. Something that you want to do, something that you passionate about, something that you think you can do, but you think don't nobody else think you can do, but you know you can do it. Do it. Make them believe in you. But anything criminal, anything illegal, anybody that you dealing with that's doing something criminal, doing something illegal, you at the stage of your life right now where your life is getting ready to begin, you need to separate you from them. Period. I don't care if they family members. You need to separate yourself.
Said he denied your parole like times. How did you?
Kept on doing what I was supposed to do, man. I got focused. I got a lot of support. I had people writing in for me, you know, delicate congressmen, all of that. And, you know, by the grace of God, my family, I eventually made it, you know, but it was a fight, bro. It was a fight. I ain't had to be out here right now, but, you know, I feel blessed. It was a fight. Once you go in the system, ain't guaranteed you coming out. Even if you got 5 years, even if you got 2 years. I told you, it is no guarantee that you can come out once you go in that system, bro. There's no guarantee. Anything can happen any day. The key is just don't never go in.
Students, a lot of serious topics this today. Can we please give Mr. a round of applause, please? Really appreciate that. We're going to stay connected. I know we couldn't ask all the questions today, but we'll be in contact with him, and hopefully we can relay questions, you know, to him, and he can give us an answer as well.
The banking special. Yeah. Pure deliciousness. Pure deliciousness, man.
My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.